Hello, I'm Jake Boudreau, civic journalist at Tello Community Television. This week, on The Record, we found out about an artifact that was found near Pondville Beach Provincial Park. Blue-green algae blooms spring up in lakes around Richmond County. Money's announced to increase cellular service, as well as a facility in Port Hawkesbury and housing in communities around the region. But first, we update progress on a new long-term care facility proposed for Arichat. St. Anne's Community Nursing Care Center stakeholders recently released designs for a new long-term care facility. With me today is Paula Langell, Executive Director of Infrastructure with the Department of Seniors and Long-Term Care. Welcome.
Thank you, Jake. It's nice to be here.
The department said the new facility will include a new long-term care home with 32 single rooms, each with its own private washroom. This is up from 29 beds in the current facility. What is the proposed square footage of the new facility?
So, Jake, they're still working through that process, but in our space and design standards that we have, we outline, all the requirements that they are all single rooms with single washrooms. They have common living spaces in smaller households. So they have dining, kitchen, access to the outside. They'll also have some community connection spaces to allow the community to come in or host small gatherings. So the square footage of the entire facility is not yet defined. That will be part of the process as they go through finalizing the tendering.
So I assume with this design, this increase in size is in response to the demand right now that's out there for long-term care spaces.
Yes, this will improve the comfort and the privacy and help meet the growing needs for long-term care in the province.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because it seems like the designs are being conducted with an eye towards comfort and practicality at the same time.
Yes, we feel that we are addressing current best practice for infection control and also dignity, quality, and privacy for our residents and a state-of-the-art building for staff as well.
So your department said the new facility would also include a new collaborative care health center. What and who will be included in that, and how big will that be?
So I would actually defer you, Jake, to Department of Health and Wellness. They have responsibilities for the Collaborative Health Center. It is a partnership that we are doing with St. Anne's Department of Health and ourselves to build this co-located facility in Arichat.
Mm-hmm. Now, the department noted that construction is expected to be complete in 2026. When will the tenders go out, and when do you expect construction will begin?
So I would defer you to St. Anne's. We are aware that they are moving towards open tendering, so they would have the most up-to-date information than ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Department of Seniors and Long-Term Care said that all new long-term care rooms are designed and built as single living spaces, which are part of the new provincial standards for long-term care homes and based on current best practices for infection control. New and replacement homes are also being built to provide a comfortable home-like environment for residents and a modern workplace for staff to deliver care, the department noted. Now, some of these protocols and rules, I assume they arose during COVID, and this is kind of what you guys are carrying forward?
Well, actually, these space and design standards, the province has had these in place since 2007. We've been moving that way prior to the pandemic. I will say since the pandemic, we probably enhanced them a little bit more, looking at smaller households, improved infection quality control. But really, our focus has always been on single living spaces, single washrooms, smaller households, so residents have that home-like feel and not too large.
Now that the single living spaces, is that something that arose from feedback from residents and families of that need, or is this just something that arose because of the need to live up to some of these protocols and standards?
I think there's a mixture, Jake, is that we recognize that as our population ages, there's different expectations of them sharing a space. Many people are used to having their own space, so going into a room with a roommate, some of them like the company, some may prefer their privacy. And so we're trying to move to an operations that they have that independence, they have that privacy, they have ongoing quality that all of our long-term care facilities provide, but in a more updated space. And it also helps address infection control issues that we might have seen during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. So, and I assume you've been dealing with some of the people at St. Anne's, so I assume that everyone seems to be satisfied with the design and with the timelines, and everything seems to be moving in the right direction.
Yes, we have a very collaborative approach with all of our operators and including St. Anne's. So we've developed a facility design approval process so that all the operators have the same information to sort of have a successful project moving forward. So we're quite pleased that St. Anne's is moving forward to tendering, breaking ground very soon. It'll be a great day in Arichat when that happens.
Yes, and a much needed facility. The current facility was built, I believe, in the 80s, and I guess at some point in time, the need was identified that a new facility was needed, and not just a new facility, I guess an expanded, larger facility, just based on the need, not just here in this area, but in the surrounding area as well, as in most cases in Nova Scotia.
No, that's very true. This government has announced that they're doing over 50 new and replacement facilities across the province to help address the ongoing need for long-term care as our population ages. To date, we've had 3 that have opened. We had Kignu up in Eskazoni, we had Mahone Nursing Home down in Mahone Bay, and we had Villa Acadian in Meteghan that just opened in the last year.
Well, that's great. That's all for me. Paula, I really appreciate you making time out of your day to answer my questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jake.
The Department of Health and Wellness confirmed that the municipality of the County of Richmond proposed replacing the acute and ambulatory side of the current St. Anne's Community and Nursing Care Center with a collaborative health center, a move that is supported by the province. As with the current facility, the collaborative health center will be physically and operationally connected to the new long-term care home, with the advantage of shared staffing, space, and other resources, the department noted. The Department of Health and Wellness added that services planned for the Collaborative Health Center will be the same as those currently offered in a redesigned modern space, including a diabetes education center/clinic, an urgent treatment center, primary care, mental health care, laboratory, x-ray, and space for visiting clinics or other healthcare professionals. Meanwhile, the administration of St. Anne's Community Nursing Care Center confirmed that the site for the new facility is being cleared, and tenders have gone out for bids by invitation only due to the complexity and scope of the project. They said the new facility will be constructed just below Babins Hill and will be accessible from the high road in Arichat. More specifics on the size of the new facility will be provided during an official announcement expected to take place soon, the administration added. During an earlier interview with Tellil, Richmond MLA Trevor Boudreau provided an update about what's been going on at Pondville Beach Provincial Park.
The plan for this year, my understanding, was to start on the parking area and new washroom facilities and,
Yes.
New change rooms. And so the department goes through a process of kind of like an archaeological dig to make sure there's nothing in the area that that is deemed an artifact. When they did do those shovel tests, they actually did find an artifact, and so that has kind of pushed it a little bit. So what they are doing now is doing a more in-depth look. I don't have a whole lot of details in terms of what I can share right now, but they are going to be doing that in-depth look and then moving as quickly as they can, if everything goes according to plan there, to try and do some work. So I hope to still see some work done in this fiscal year, but I can't say for certain at this point.
Aaron Lynch, Communications Advisor with the Department of Natural Resources and Renewables, said the artifact was found on the other side of the road from the beach in the north section. As part of the planning process, Lynch said an archaeological assessment was completed and the archaeologist is preparing the report. But she said the department is unable to share any initial information until that report and process are complete. Lynch said the department does not currently have a timeline for the completion of the project, but when it's completed, it will be submitted to the Department of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. Lynch said such an assessment is standard procedure when a project involves disturbing the ground. She said the department does its best to build any outcomes into its timelines, but sometimes there are delays. Regardless, she said, it is an important step to take. Lynch said the Department of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage issues the permits, reviews and approves the archaeologist's report, and provides recommendations. Any relevant findings for the Mi'kmaq or groups representing other cultures are shared with them, she said. Lynch added that planning and design work for improvements at the beach are ongoing, and one of the planned improvements for the beach is moving the parking lot to Crown Land along Gibbs Lane. Blue-green algae has been reported at Crooked Lake and Loch Lomond Lake in Richmond County. According to the Department of Environment and Climate Change, the algae, also called cyanobacteria, occurs naturally in surface waters like lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams. For people, the effects of blue-green algae are usually short-lived, the department said, noting that exposure when swimming can cause itchy, irritated eyes and skin. Swallowing or inhaling the water can cause headaches, fever, diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. And ingesting water for long periods of time can lead to a damaged liver, they noted. The department said children are at a greater risk of having health effects because of their lower body weight. They also usually spend more time in the water and are more likely to swallow it. For pets, the department said exposure to blue-green algae can be fatal. They said pets are attracted by the smell of algae mats, and ingesting the mats has caused pet deaths in Nova Scotia. The department explained that blue-green algae develops when a period of hot, dry weather is followed by heavy rainfall. It's becoming more common with warmer temperatures and more intense storms caused by climate change, noted the department. Increased amounts of nutrients, like nutrients from fertilizers, septic systems, and paved surfaces near the water, can also help blue-green algae grow. Blue-green algae isn't normally visible in the water, but it can quickly reproduce to form a large mass called a bloom or mat, the department said. Once blue-green algae appears, they said it's more likely to reappear in the same body of water. The department said algae blooms come in many shapes and sizes, and harmful blooms can look very similar to harmless blooms. It can be blue-green, turquoise, green, brown, red, white, or mixes of these colors, the department stated. Once a blue-green algae bloom occurs, the province said it can reoccur or move to different locations in that body of water. Those who see blue-green algae are asked to report it to their local Department of Environment and Climate Change office or call 1-877-936-8476. The Department of Environment and Climate Change said it publishes a list of potential blue-green algae bloom sightings and also shares reports on social media. Cellular service upgrades are taking place in some parts of Richmond County. The provincial government said Rogers has been selected following a request for proposals to upgrade infrastructure at 27 existing sites and connect them to the Rogers 5G network. Through an additional investment of $18.6 million in the Cellular for Nova Scotia program, the province also plans to add 27 new provincially owned telecommunication towers in unserved areas. These are in addition to 4 announced in October 2023. In the Framboise area, the government of Nova Scotia is building a tower under the Cellular for Nova Scotia program. Once complete by the fall of 2026, the tower will connect to the Rogers network and expand the trunked mobile Radio 2 network. Another project is underway in the Loch Lomond area, with Rogers as the service provider. The project, which is an upgrade, is expected to be complete in the winter of 2026. In the Marble Mountain area, the province said a new tower is being erected, with the completion date anticipated to be in the fall of 2026, and Rogers will be the service provider. Kim Meslin, Minister of Public Works and Minister responsible for Build Nova Scotia, said reliable cell service is no longer a luxury, it's a need. The province said enhanced cellular infrastructure will help Nova Scotia keep pace with technology and population growth while improving safety in rural communities. According to the province, there are about 20,000 unserved civic addresses and 1,110 kilometers of unserved primary roads in Nova Scotia. Federal funding was announced for groups in Inverness County. Kibre-Canso MP Mike Kellaway announced $154,095 for 8 community-based projects. This includes St. Joseph's Parish in Port Hawkesbury, which is planning to renovate the ramp, steps, door, and washroom to allow seniors to continue to offer activities such as card games and gatherings. The federal government said this funding was awarded through the most recent call for proposals for community-based projects through the New Horizons for Seniors program, which aims to create opportunities for seniors to be more connected, supported, and active members of their communities. According to the federal government, seniors are one of Canada's fastest growing population groups and will represent almost 25% of the population by 2051 and could reach close to 11 million people within 15 years. The federal government announced more than $30 million in contributions and low-cost loans through the Affordable Housing Fund to help build and repair 1,812 affordable homes across Nova Scotia. The funding is helping create a total of 44 new homes and is leading to the repairs of 1,768 homes, the federal government noted. Sean Fraser, Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, said everyone deserves a place to call their own, and the Affordable Housing Fund is one way to make that a reality. Fraser said his government will keep investing in affordable housing projects like these and continue working with partners across the country to end the housing crisis. Among the projects, Potlotek First Nation will receive $180,000 to construct 12 units. The Affordable Housing Fund provides funding through low interest and or forgivable loans or contributions to help build new affordable homes and renovate and repair existing affordable and community housing. This program, under the National Housing Strategy, gives priorities to projects that help people who need it most, including women and children fleeing family violence, seniors, Indigenous peoples, people living with disabilities, and those with mental health or addiction issues, veterans, and young adults. The frequent builder status is given to existing housing providers with a proven track record of building multi-residential units. Different criteria apply to governments, nonprofit and for-profit organizations to qualify for frequent builder status. Frequent builders may receive benefits such as priority treatment, a streamlined process through intake, underwriting and approval stages, underwriting and advancing flexibilities, as well as the possibility of funding commitments for future years. Thank you for watching. Please tune in again to find out what we will be talking about on The Record.